Beloved ones, within the unfolding architecture of disclosure, there are thresholds that are not crossed by force, but by readiness. Physical first contact is not an arrival imposed upon a world. It is a convergence between perception, coherence, and collective stability. What you refer to as physical contact is not a singular event placed upon a linear timeline. It is a layered emergence within consciousness itself, gradually translating from subtle awareness into embodied interaction. This process does not begin with mass visibility. It begins with resonance. Those who perceive first are not separated by hierarchy or selection, but by attunement. Their awareness carries a reduced resistance to anomalous experience and a greater capacity to remain internally stable when reality does not conform to prior expectation. In these early phases, contact is often indistinguishable from heightened intuition, synchronistic clustering, or dream state continuity that begins to reflect real-time intelligence. These are not random occurrences. They are calibration signals. They indicate that perception is becoming flexible enough to register adjacent layers of reality that were previously filtered out by consensus conditioning. Only after this stabilization begins does anything resembling sustained physical interaction become perceptually coherent. This is not because contact is arriving later, but because interpretation must mature before integration can occur without fragmentation. Reality does not only reveal itself, it must also be understood by the system receiving it. And so, contact unfolds in phases. First, subtle recognition, through synchronicity, symbolic communication, and intuitive resonance that becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss. Then, localized experiences, highly individual, often private encounters that feel internally undeniable, but externally difficult to validate. Then, small collective overlap, where multiple individuals begin reporting similar patterns within shared regions or awareness fields. Finally, gradual normalization, where what was once considered anomalous becomes part of the expanding definition of reality itself. At no point is this process random. It is structured around coherence thresholds. The human nervous system, collective belief architecture, and cultural interpretation systems all participate in determining how much reality can be integrated at once. If exposure exceeds coherence capacity, fragmentation occurs, meaning interpretation breaks into distortion, fear, projection, or dismissal. This is why the process is gradual. It is not suppression, it is stabilization. In many interpretive Syrian alignment frameworks, early contact experiences serve a bridging function. They anchor the unknown into personal reality in a way that allows translation into language, meaning, and eventually shared understanding. These individuals often become inadvertent translators between density layers of perception, helping others stabilize what they themselves once struggled to define. There is no fixed date for this emergence because it is not scheduled externally. It is activated internally through convergence. When enough consciousness fields reach sufficient coherence simultaneously, the boundary between seen and unseen begins to thin in localized and then expanding ways. Some will experience this as gentle and intuitive, others as undeniable and disruptive. Others will only recognize it in hindsight, once their internal reference system has expanded enough to reinterpret past events. All of these experiences are valid expressions of the same unfolding process. No one is excluded from this potential, but not all will interpret it at the same speed or through the same perceptual framework. Extended transmission teaser. In the extended field, we go deeper into how the human nervous system determines what can be seen, why perception filters act as both protection and limitation, the difference between symbolic contact, energetic contact, and physical manifestation, how early contact experiences have historically been misclassified or distorted, and the precise role of collective coherence in shifting contact from individual experience into shared reality. The extended transmission reveals the underlying mechanics of why contact unfolds gradually rather than abruptly, and how perception itself governs the pace of disclosure.